Hey, thanks for watching Broken World today. We are breaking down Westworld for Season 3, Episode 6. So bring yourselves back online and let's begin analysis. This is Broken World. Hey guys, this is Dylan.
I'm Quin. I think. Am I here? Hello.
Today.
Okay.
I see you. You should be good. All right, so thanks for joining us today. Like I said, whether you're new to the show or returning, we're glad to have you guys along, and we hope that you will join us live on YouTube and Facebook Live every Monday night that there's a new episode. We only got 2 left after this at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. And please like and subscribe, hit the little bell icon so you know when we drop a new video. And if you like Westworld, hit the thumbs up. All right, so and also check out our website at www.broken.pictures.com. So, special notes today, outside of, I guess, happy 420.
Happy 420 2020.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big holiday this year, I guess. Unofficial holiday. And so, as you can see, we are voice conferencing just like everybody else. We're social distancing as well. So stay healthy and, do what you need to do to stay healthy, social distance and all that jazz. So, all right. So, Quinn, you have your stuff? Were you able to
yes. I have it right here in front of me. I just realized that's what I was doing. So, if you haven't left now, this is your last chance. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like I said, this is your spoiler alert. And also, and Westworld is rated for mature audiences, so anything that is seen or heard on Westworld will probably be repeated on the show. You have been warned.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So, no Westworld news as far as I'm aware.
Okay. I mean, Westworld is awesome. That's news enough.
Yeah. And that's for you.
Okay, well, since there's no news, I'll go right into the episode intro. Episode 6, Decoherence. Right? Yes. Do a lot of people tell you that you need therapy? This one. I mean, not anymore.
Because you got some, right? You're doing okay.
Doing just fine. I guess let's rate this episode and dive right into it.
All right. I go first on Westworld, right? I'm supposed to. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think I did last time. Let's see. I'm going to give it a solid 9.5. It was a pretty awesome episode. I'm going to go ahead and say 10. Yeah, because it was good. I'm not going to do wishful thinking like I did last time and wish that I had given it a 10. I'm just going to go right for it. It's a 10.
Cool. I'm going to give it 10 exploding cars.
Nice.
Because woof. It's been a good minute since watching something has made my heart start racing. And this episode did it. I have no idea why, but it did it.
Man. Action packed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Got the Robotech right gear out.
So since we're on that, do you want to start with Charlotte?
Sure, let's do it.
Because it was a pretty super heavy Charlotte episode. Yeah. And it was
super heavy everybody episode it seemed. Or everybody that was in it anyway.
Yeah. Sirach's an evil genius. Just start off with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like
they were trying at the last minute to have that board meeting and then just like walking up straight up, pop out. And, all right, go. Get on out of here. And she's like, oh, okay. She said they just handed her a phone and she's like, oh, hello?
Yeah, like this man, he's oof. And it's so weird. Like, unless I'm colorblind, was his suit gray? Just out of curiosity.
I don't remember. Like now that you mention it, I can't picture. It's like fuzzy.
I feel like I was looking at it, but like it was always in some type of lighting where it didn't look gray, but I was pretty sure it was gray. And I was like, huh, how strange.
Yeah,
But
because clothing played a big role in this one. The man
yeah,
in white and everything.
yeah. Um, Charlotte, what did what did she say? The actress who plays Charlotte Hale, she called Charlotte something else.
Oh,
Uh,
Shaloris.
um,
Shaloris.
yes, that
Yeah.
Dolores. Actually, I feel like she's not even really a copy of Dolores anymore because she wanted to
Yeah.
protect her son, that she felt like it was her son, and I'm assuming ex-husband.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
kudos to Jake there to not look at the thing, and I also don't forget the Easter egg on the wall, the graffiti maze that somebody was painting
yeah,
when she was
that
headed
was really
to
cool.
Jacob's apartment.
Yep. And it really felt like she was like, okay, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to get out. I don't care what Dolores' plan is anymore, what she really wants me to do. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care who I used to be. I'm Charlotte Hill. I got this dude with these pretty eyes and a son. I'm getting out of
Yep. Yep. That's I don't know. I mean, I guess it goes back to Dolores' core of that's all she ever wanted to be is just a farmer's daughter and have her family and and all that kind of stuff.
here.
And
Yeah.
she got it. I mean, and also that just it's kind of like it's almost like parallel universe versions of Dolores too, because I mean, like the show explores free will and shoot, I can't think of the word, but predetermination. And do you have a choice? And there was a lot in this episode too with William. Where do you have a choice, or are you a product? It's like in
Product of your
psychology.
environment or,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Psychology 101. Are you a product of your environment or a product of your genes or whatever? And I personally believe it's a little bit of both, but I think this was exploring it because we've seen so much in this season about predetermination and the path set before you and them trying to kick out of it and all this kind of stuff and it's happening right under Dolores's nose where she's fighting for the very thing, yet she's keeping them from having their own thing, and she's like doing it to herself, and in
Yes.
different circumstances she would become a different person, and make different choices.
Yep. Because even in the last episode, with old boy blowing himself up, that Dolores seemed like it was different. It's like she kind of wanted, not they all wanted Arnold to escape, but
Mm-hmm.
if circumstances were probably different, she probably would have been like, yeah, I'll go with you, because Arnold got into his mind. Arnold Bernard, whatever,
Bernard.
Barnold, got into his mind.
He looked for a second like he was contemplating, like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
But I saw something that was saying that that it could be, because I mean, even Arnold Bernard, you got me saying Arnold. Even he said something about like paths diverging, that you kind of become a different person, and he knows from experience because he's got Arnold living in his head and everything. But somebody mentioned something on one of the videos I was watching about the breakdowns and stuff, and they were talking about how maybe Martin went through and was that soldier because that's who Martin is at his core, rather than Hale, who is a rebel and makes her own path, and that kind of thing. That's why Martin fell in line and played his role so brilliantly,
Yep. And what was the other thing? So last episode was definitely a win for Dolores, but this episode was definitely a win for Sirach.
Yeah.
At the cost of Hale's family,
Mhm. Well,
which
do you think it was? I think it was Sirach, but it could have been Dolores. Do you think?
that it being Westworld, it's super possible that it was Dolores.
Mm.
But I feel like it was Sirach. He got there beforehand and planted a bomb so that knowing what was about to happen
Mm.
or
Yeah.
something along those lines. But it
Yeah.
was that
I agree.
was heartbreaking.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And we're jumping way ahead, but well, I guess we could talk about like the crisscrossing with Maeve and all that kind of stuff when we talk about Maeve. But yeah, the just that whole action sequence where she is kicking butt and taking names and she had, like, even Dolores herself had planned for all these things to happen because she took the gas out of the safe with her and also one little tidbit that was kind of cool was when they were sitting in the boardroom and they're all sitting there and they're talking about how they're about to figure out or reveal who the host is, and Charlotte reaches down and takes the bracelet off of her arm and puts it away, and it seems just kind of like a little nonchalant thing, but like symbolically that could be like her breaking away from what Dolores wants her to be, and she making her own path and removing those chains from herself, uh, which is cool when you think about it. But Tessa Thompson said that the reason they had to do that is just for consistency because later on in the action scene she wasn't wearing it.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll twist it this way, but no, it just had to come off.
Yeah, I mean it worked
That's
out.
funny.
I wonder how many things work out like that, and everybody's just like, yeah, go with it. Probably a lot.
You guys are exactly right. You good fans.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for
When in
reading too
that
deeply
sequence,
into a show about robots.
in that same boardroom scene, when after she took it off, and then she put the canister on the thing, I thought that was like a bomb at first. And I was like, oh,
Too.
they
Yeah.
caught her.
Yeah,
And
and then
then
people
like
started
as they were,
dropping.
yeah, like as you can hear them coughing, and like I thought it was someone in my house coughing. It's like, who is coughing? Can you take a drink of water, please? But then like I realized, oh, it's on TV. Somebody's gassed somebody, but then like the security guard started dropping, and it was just her and Tarak there, and I was like, oh no! Like my brain instantly went like he's a host, and then she shot, and it's just a hologram.
Yeah, I figured
yeah.
the hologram when everybody dropped, but it looks like we're having connection issues. So if this, if you do end up seeing this on the live stream, we apologize. That's just how the internet is right now with everybody at home and everybody filling up the bandwidth. So if we do drop off, we will upload the video tomorrow, the entire thing. So, all right, let's continue. So yeah, she turns into like James Bond right there. It's a pretty sweet scene.
Yeah, it is.
The elevator scene, and I was like, oh, they're gonna do an elevator scene. Of course. I was like, go Cap.
Like saying he got the call, she was like, well, I'm gonna have to kill this guy. And it just ended up turning around, taking the jacket off, and choking him out. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just like stepped on him and
yes. All while she did so much before she left the building. Like she got the information, sent it out. She went down, kill old dude.
Yeah. this isn't right. I'm telling Sirach. Oh yeah, stitches get stitches.
It's like, well, this is another neck I'm gonna have to break today.
Yeah, she
It
was just
was,
like.
yeah. You made me work. Jeez.
This is your fault. This is on you. I didn't want to do this.
And then what else did she do? She went
Oh
down, found out that there's a little host lab in the building, which I
yeah.
don't know why.
Well, I mean the whole sequence where she got caught, and she's like, oh, it's just a cell phone. Swipe, click,
Yeah.
slide. Just like
Megatron.
it's no. Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, man. He got hit hard. Like his feet were just like, I felt that
Yeah,
one.
I was like, oh wow, he's dead.
Yeah.
That was really great. I was really happy that she got a chance to use the robots, not in the way that I thought that she was going to use them,
Hmm.
but I'm really happy that she got to use them.
Yeah, that's the scene from the teaser that we've been seeing. But I mean, they did order 300 of them, so maybe we'll see them again. That would be awesome.
Giant robot war. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
It'd be
awesome.
even it'd be even better if they could wear them and just be like Sigourney Weaver and Alien.
Ah. I think you just wrote the season finale.
Yeah, Ripley.
Huh.
Yeah, that was pretty
Um,
awesome.
when let's see, and she was in the host lab, found out Maeve was there. She grabbed the damaged version of herself, or
Yeah.
left version,
Well, yeah. I mean,
leftover.
she grabbed Hector and
Yeah,
ended him, just like Thanos. It's like
yeah, and
she was about to
which I
get
don't
Maeve.
understand. She was gonna
Huh?
get Maeve, but I would have went for Maeve first if I were her. But I
Well, I
guess
don't
she
think she
was.
realized it was Maeve. It's like it looked to me like she just kind of looked over and was like, "Oh, hey, you." But for the
Yeah,
second time that they were about to do something to Maeve's pearl, Sirach's men showed up. So I don't know if that's plot armor or if there's something else at work there. I don't know. Seems like plot armor
like,
at this point.
feels like plot armor, but it could have been. Well, I'm gonna try and spin
I
it
mean,
just
if
a
it
hair. You
yeah, if it was
maybe
Walking
when
Dead, I
she.
would say plot armor. But I mean, for Westworld, it's like I trust the
Yeah.
writers a little too much.
Maybe when she was like screaming in the simulation, all the lights and everything, and like outside the simulation was going off, they're like, oh, maybe she's in there because they could have been looking for her and been not too far away. Or they
Mm,
just knew where she was, happened to show up at that time.
maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, then she had to leave. She grabbed herself, curious what
Well,
she's
like
gonna do with that.
Maeve's in danger.
Go save me. And then yeah, from there, robot
Yep.
scene, made it out after getting shot 3 times,
Yep.
and made it to her ex-husband house. Yes,
Yeah,
are they?
man, that was
Yeah. Then they,
R.I.P.
you know,
I can keep
drove
you
away
safe.
into.
Can you
Oh
though?
man,
Can you? And then she
that's where I
crawled
was
out
at.
like Anakin Skywalker or V for Vendetta.
Yep, and I was like, oh, she's gonna be pissed. But
Yeah.
oh, girl, what you do with your hair though?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, she's been trying to get out of that skin all season, so I mean, she finally got her wish.
Yeah,
But another little subtle detail I thought was cool was like anytime she would get nervous, she'd start like tracing where those cuts were. Like when she
yeah,
was at Jake's house, she started reaching down and like scratching, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And she kind of fidgeted away from it. And then when Sirach was about to land, she starts tracing the circle on her chest. So that was
yep,
kind of cool to see that callback. And speaking of circles, the circle that looked like the eclipse in Jake's apartment, that kind of showed that he was at balance and he was okay with not looking, and just kind of like a little symbolism going on there for his character.
Dang.
So, yeah.
Now this episode really has me messed up. As I'm thinking about it, the ending is really just standing out to me the whole time.
Yeah, so many layers. Man, Charlotte's gonna be pissed. I'm not even gonna call her Shalores because I don't think that she is Dolores anymore. Like she is. She's on
this
the
is Charlotte
Hell
2.
2.0, yeah. Charlotte, oh hell.
Charlotte, oh hell, here she comes.
Mm-hmm. Oh hell no.
I think that's anything else with Charlotte.
That's all I got for Charlotte. Almost said Harlot for some reason. I guess because hell.
This isn't season 1.
You're not wrong. I mean, she was pouring herself out for the other company, trying to get the other one. But yeah.
Then let's rewind a tad and jump over to Maeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she awakens in the valley beyond and quickly realizes that it's fake, and he's like, oh, but it could be.
Yeah.
Cheeseburger. That's my fake French accent. That's all I got.
I don't know. Like, it seems like Sirach is nice to Maeve, but not nice. He's
passive aggressive, like 100%.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
he's like. It could be this way, but if you say it to me again,
it's like, okay, French Sidious, calm it down. I'll do work.
Yeah. So she's basically like, oh, I don't need motivation, I need help, and so he's like, oh, okay, I'll help you. Least I can do for you. So, and he's like almost like a Bond villain. Only not as much of a caricature. Like, I guess my accent would make him more of a caricature Bond villain, but anyways, he's more complicated than a Bond villain. So yeah, I mean, so she awakens back in the World simulation and is just like, all right, screw this. I'm just gonna go take out, burn off some steam and punch some Nazis until my body gets made. And then what's his face? Sizemore appears again. And he's like, oh, you again? Didn't expect to see you back here. And so they, of course, go to a bar. And another little Easter egg that somebody caught on Reddit or whatever. When she first stepped off and she's like, I'm the one you're looking for. Right behind her in German was something about the butterfly. And her original bar in Westworld was butterfly in Spanish or something like that. And then also when she was in Shogun World, there was the version of her, and there was also a butterfly. So there's something to do with the symbolism of her and butterflies. I guess her transformation.
Interesting. Wow. I'm really happy people can catch these things.
Yeah, especially in other languages. I'm just enjoying it on the surface, man.
Folks be pausing, putting the phone up to the thing, Google Translate, like, translate this picture, please.
Right. Yeah, like, zoom enhance. So so they're sitting there, and she notices a glitch in the Matrix, and like Neo's like, something's different, And so she, goes and looks out into the real world and notices that they've been moved to their own home facility. She said they're home, so I'm assuming that they're back on the island on Westworld Island, I guess. I don't know, but they're back in South China Sea, and their bodies are being made, and she realizes that Sirach made good on his on his promise that there are more bodies being made, and so she just sits there, and then she realizes that one of them is Hector. Oh no, they show she didn't realize it. I think they showed the people going through and in the bodies, and it's like, oh yeah, it's this one, and cut his pearl out and got him, and then he shows up in the simulation, and she realizes that it's actually him by looking through the cameras and stuff. And so because it's him and not a simulated version, she's able to reprogram him and restore his memories and everything. So then he's like,
all for 2 seconds.
What?
All for 2 seconds, yeah.
Oh my God,
I'm back.
And poor little Sizemore has just like declared his love for her, and they're making out, and he's like,
hey, I'm here. And he's like, oh, you survived? It's like, no, I didn't.
Yeah, you're tougher than you look. No, not really. I'm still just a little guy. Let's see what else I got here. So they go downstairs at the bar, and that turns out to be like the bunker where Bernard and Dolores were created and all that kind of stuff, right? Or the secret bunker or whatever back in Westworld. And so she also sees that there's the burn up version of Dolores, and I don't know if she knew what it was or she just noticed that it was a burn up pearl. But then they get down there and it's obviously Dolores, and she can't. She said that she couldn't hurt them there because they were basically in her world and she was in control. So she, brings Dolores up and asks her questions and everything. They kind of have a heart to heart and realize that they really can't trust each other, and they agree upon that. And that they're both kind of stuck in another loop, I guess, and they don't really have a choice in what they have to do. And but it's like, what is it? I think it was like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and he was like, if I knew that, then I would go back and do this. You know what I mean? So it's almost like Dolores is like, if I was me, but I'm not. But if I was, I would have planned for this and this and that. Yeah, and so then she looks out, obviously pale. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then crushes her boyfriend right there.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think those pearls were so squeezy.
Fragile. Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Except,
I thought
the hosts have that extra strength too, though. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, our brains are pretty squeezy. So.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just said our brains are pretty squeezy too. So.
Oh well, but okay.
There's that.
True. There's that, and then she lost him for good because now, unless and we know they're not any more backups, they destroyed all their backups, so that's it.
Yeah,
he died for real.
Yeah, so she's just basically pleading with Dolores to save him and to do something, and she's just like, "What am I gonna do? I'm stuck here too,
Yeah.
Like she's got some kind of mental link, like with her other selves or something. But she ends up. It's almost like they're about to have some kind of finish, or like they're almost about to come to some form of agreement. You know what I mean? To where almost like they're on the same page, and then she's plucked out by Dolores, and leaves as well. But yeah, Maeve is pissed.
Super pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think the next thing we see of her is her stepping off the table and waiting for the other two. So yeah, we saw that they're making 4 bodies, right? One is Maeve, one was
Yes.
Hector, and then there's 2 more, right? Well, some clever
Yes.
souls are keeping track of their host ID numbers, right? And so they were looking at the host ID
What?
numbers, yeah, and one of them is Clementine. The Clementine that that had the lobotomy. I don't know how
Yeah.
that's going to work. I mean, I don't know if that had only ruined the body that she was currently in, or if that affected her pearl somehow. But
I
I
think
guess we're
I
about to
don't
find
know.
out.
I don't know. I mean, they down to why she was like in just base functions, and then had her go out with that, the super crazy anti-Mave power that made everybody just fight each other,
Yeah,
and just I basically had her out there brain dead because it was still going on even after she was like struck down.
yeah.
So
So I
yeah,
mean, it's possible that she's zombie Clementine, and Maeve will just have control over her, and she'll just be a tank or whatever, or
yeah.
she'll be herself. I don't know. But so people were speculating that she would show up again in the season because she was at the premiere, and they're also speculating that the 4th host is the Japanese version of Armistice from Shogun World, because she was also at the premiere for season 3. Remember, she had like
That would be really cool. Yeah,
yeah
the bow and arrow and all that. Yeah,
yeah
that'd be
yeah
really
I
cool.
can't remember her name, but so yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's the end of the Mave Trail.
Yep, I think so.
Yes.
So William,
Well,
damn.
on to Big Willie. Big Willie Manilli, the guy who has some real mental issues.
Yeah, I was about to say Big
Um,
White Willie, but
ha, ha, ha. That's funnier.
yeah. So they did a
But
little
yeah, William.
yeah. So I'm trying to remember how. Oh, that's right. He was in the group therapy, and the dude was like, I don't know how. She asked him how he was dealing with it, and he's like, just trying to get through it every day at a time. And, believing that God's got a plan, and William was like, he's like, God's plan. And then he goes all Agent Smith, where he's like, humanity is a disease, and all that kind of stuff. So that was pretty
Yep.
cool. It's like hurling through space in this speck of mud and blah 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 blah, and using up all the resources, and we're a virus and this and that. And so she's like, "Well, thanks for sharing." Anybody else? And so yeah, I think somebody started crying too off to the side. And so he's like crushed everybody. And she was like, "Yes, not good for group therapy. I'll write this down." And so then he's talking to the therapist one on one, right? And she's talking about how apparently nobody is aware that he killed his daughter. They just know that shit went down and she didn't survive. And so she's talking about how how he's dealing with it and all this kind of stuff. And as soon as he starts like actually having a breakthrough, wouldn't you know, nobody's paying attention. It's just like when you go to share your heart and it's like, oh yeah, makes me uncomfortable. I'm gonna go do this. So she goes and checks her phone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry, my family's not supposed to be
Well,
calling me. And then
I had to pause it and read what her stuff says because
yeah, me
she
too.
cried. I was like,
Yeah,
but yeah, no, loses license in 1 to 2 years, divorce in 2.5 years. What were the contributing risk? multiple affairs,
Yeah,
and
and addiction to opioids.
opioid addiction. Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
geez, you would. I was like, geez, this lady seems so nice.
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah.
good goodness.
Yeah, and her husband is like, I don't know how her husband got her info though, unless
I
I don't
think
know,
so.
because
The way
immediately
that
he was like, got the kids, don't even try to contact.
I think the way that it went is like you get yours and your relatives, and you can get access to your spouses.
Hmm.
Or like it's just like one, if you're a whole giant family and you're registered as a family, then you can see everybody in that family. Like if I were to get mine, I could see mine, Shay's, and
Oh,
Liam's,
that's
and you
well.
could see yours, your
I was
kids,
kids. I was about
baby.
to
Because
say,
that one lady could see her daughters, and her daughter
right.
didn't look like she had a phone.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Oh,
say because what? Yeah.
oh, my thing's cutting
Uh,
it out.
okay.
Hold on. I think we're good.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like that lady could see her daughters, but I mean, she's a guardian, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that works, but either way, somehow he saw her stuff, and
Yep.
maybe they have a shared account. It's like those Facebook accounts you see that's like Mr. and Mrs. This, and it's like, okay, who's the sneaky one? So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, he's out. He's like, you've been having multiple affairs. And one of the videos I watched, I cannot remember who it was. We're speculating that maybe like she seemed she seemed to have a pretty high position in that place, which was one of Sirach's facilities, by the way.
Yep.
And so maybe the reason she has such a high position is because she is somebody that is untrustworthy or that is willing to do shady things. And if he were to ask, you know what I mean?
Huh.
Like he employs those types of people on purpose because
Yeah.
that's where
That makes
he's
sense.
doing all his, yeah, that's where he's doing his illegal editing stuff and all that crap,
Oh yeah, like that mess he was doing to William later on could not have been legal, and I feel like make you more crazy.
hmm Yeah, I
So
mean, it kind
yeah,
of works for him though.
did it though, Dylan? Did it though?
We'll see. We'll see. So,
Um,
yeah. So, okay. He sees what's going on, and she runs out of the room, and then I want to say that isn't that when they come and get him and take him over to the room. Well, she recommended him for AR therapy, which is like augmented reality. And so then they took him in the
yeah,
room, and as they're walking by, you see her walk across her desk and hang herself. So I mean, some people are obviously not taking things very well, and
no.
therapists need to see a therapist. And
What is? Dang, there was like an old saying that either pirates or somebody used to say for hanging. It'll come to me. If not, I'll just scream it out later or something.
okay,
But yeah,
okay, yeah. So she straight up she did it, and so they take him to that room, and he's strapped down. They put those glasses on him. Oh well, no, yeah, they put the thing in his mouth. Yeah, that's right.
yeah. That thing, the same thing that Caleb has, that
Yeah.
apparently costs like a lot of money, and it helps with
hmm
military and PTSD and things. But I guess it has other features. Don't know.
Yeah. Well, everybody, it's the
But
drip.
yeah,
Remember, it seems like pretty much everybody has one because everybody's
yeah,
taking those tabs and everything. So it's pretty common. And except his is military grade, right?
yep,
And she even mentioned that the AR therapy was helpful for people with PTSD and soldiers and people like that. So that seems, and then when he goes into the room, and they put those glasses on, that is obviously the flash that Caleb had, the memory of him wearing those things. And he seems to have memories that he doesn't know about, or like they have edited
That
him
they
and
blocked
reprogrammed
out.
him.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But his seems
Especially,
like it was painful, and his goggles looked huge. So it might have been like when the technology was first getting going.
yeah, or maybe he just got a little ahead. But yeah, remember when Liam Jr. looked at his profile, and apparently he saw something that Caleb hadn't seen, that Dolores didn't show him, because he looked kind of scared and said, "Get away from me! You're one of the worst there is." And even when Caleb was, trying to save him from being shot, he was just like, "Go away! Leave me alone! Get off me! Go away!" So there's something else going on there with Caleb, obviously, and it seems like next episode we're going to get more information on all that. But this was a nice little reveal, even though he wasn't there.
Yeah. Get that Caleb revealed episode. Which with what's his face? Back on William. So I don't know. Like once he sat down with all of himself and all versions of himself that we've seen so far.
Yeah, well, don't forget
William,
that Craddock. Don't forget that Craddock was the orderly that brought him to the room.
Oh yeah. The second that happened, I was like, oh man, I don't know what's going on for real.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think. They could have gone any direction with that, whether he was remade as a host and was the other host that Dolores hasn't revealed yet, or he was just seeing stuff again, But obviously he was still in the AR deal. He straight up bit that nurse's finger off.
Bro, that was hilarious. This man did not come into work today thinking, "Nah, ain't no one gonna bite my fingers off. I shouldn't wear these protective gloves." And
I know,
what do you know?
That they would. You think that they would have some kind of tool for that, like so you don't get bit.
Feed him it instead of forcing it as by hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Some kind of pliers or something. Yeah.
Y'all got hollow glasses, but you forgot about tongs. The little things you use to pick up meat off grills.
Oh, tongs. I thought you said tongues. I was like, what?
Oh, yeah, tongs.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
go ahead.
I was just trying to think.
Oh. Okay. But yeah, once he after we figured out it's a hallucination, because when he walked through the door, all versions of himself and his father-in-law, weirdly enough, were all there to greet him. Himself as the man in black, himself as young William, or Billy, as I like to call him, Billy the Kid, William in tuxedo, mint version,
like entrepreneur version,
entrepreneur, and I think that's it.
And the actual kid.
The actual kid.
Yeah.
And then his stepfather, which that was the only one I didn't like. All of them I kind of figured why they were there, because obviously he had some repressed memories of him as a kid. Young him was the best version of himself, but that was the version that led to him becoming the man in black, which was the darkest version of himself. And then the facade put on for everybody else was him in the tuxedo.
Yeah, that was his mask. Yeah. And it was really interesting seeing him as a child. Some of these memories where he had said before that his dad was a drunk, and he, kind of had that, and it was actually something that he had made up himself to kind of repress those memories. And it was actually his dad that drank because he was crazy and violent and stuff, So he'd always kind of been that way. And Logan kind of had seen through his facade and was like, I need to see the real you come out, when they first got there. And so the part doesn't actually make them bad people. It just kind of reveals them.
Who they really are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a mirror. And
Yep.
so also another interesting thing is the book that he was reading as a kid, and back in season 1, he was talking to Dolores, and he mentioned how he used to read all these books when he was a kid, and he'd get lost in it, and he that was his form of escape and all that kind of stuff. And so the kid was reading a book, but it was a like a kind of a alternate version of like King Arthur type story, where it was like Sir something, I don't know, and the lady something. But it could either be that they mixed it up because Westworld is a different universe or whatever, or it could be that William is seeing something that is twisted because he is an unreliable narrator. I prefer the second option myself.
Second option seems most plausible.
Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, in Westworld, nothing's an accident at this point.
Nope. No.
Especially, they better not be. And they took 2 years to make this season, so they better have all their ducks in a row.
Yeah, and it hasn't disappointed at all.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Game of Thrones, it's been worth the wait.
Yeah. Don't even bring that up.
But ultimately, his hallucination ends with him saying, "I know what I need to do," and cut away. When we do come back, we see he killed the man in black with his own knife. Kid him is just dead. Don't know how he died. He's just dead.
Yeah, they didn't want to show that on screen.
Him in his tuxedo, he probably strangled him, I would suspect. And he's beating young him with a chair. And I said chair shot every single time he hit him with the chair.
Nice. Very nice.
And
so that's kind of like him, symbolic of him defeating his past and overcoming himself and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But there also was that conversation where he was talking about, are you? I think James Delos was kind of taunting him like he always did, and saying, do you choose who you are? Are you just a product of your environment? Like, what are you, William? Or do you get to choose? And he was like, and he said the same line that host Angela told him when he first arrived to Westworld. He was like, "Are you real?" She's like, "If you can't tell, does it really matter?" So, I mean, I guess that's their take on the whole free will, predetermination conversation. Is like, if you can't tell, does it really matter? Just live your life and just do your thing.
Be happy. Yeah. Yep. Or do your thing, because it might not always be happy.
Yep. So he emerges in all white, but he still doesn't have his hands clean. He's still covered in blood. But he's decided that he's the hero now. So you get a big transformation there.
He's in all white, but the blood is still on my hands.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can't wipe it all away.
No. And he was saved by Bernard and Bernard's helper, because I refuse to say this man's actual name.
Stubbs.
No.
Stubbs. It's such a weird name.
It's such a weird name.
Yeah. So there's a I don't know if it's a loophole or whatever, but there's an issue there that when they were running his blood samples, excuse me, and they detected an unknown protein, but things were so crazy they didn't even notice, and that was probably the tracer or the tracker that Shaloris put into him when she had him committed. So that's probably what that was, even though it said it was an unknown protein and all this kind of stuff. And at first I was like, this dude's a host because, before, because they couldn't tell when it was Dolores, they couldn't tell his blood type and all that kind of stuff, except that it said his blood type on there, but that could have just been previous knowledge,
Yeah.
But so they had to so Dolores, the Dolori, if you will, had to track him to figure out where that facility was, where he was. But how did Bernard and Stubbs know where to go?
So I think I have two ideas on that. One, they were still in the same building that they were in at the end of the last episode that ended up blowing up, but they were in the sub-basements of the building because that's where Sirach moved his facility for all that crazy stuff. Maybe.
Remind me where they were last time?
They were in the Sirach's building that had Rehoboam.
Rehoboam. Oh yeah, that's right. With Martin, and Martin had blown himself up. No, because that was in San Francisco. Because that's where Martin was.
Then he's in San Francisco.
Yeah, well, because he got the information from Martin. Francisco? Well, that's where the Delos HQ is, where Charlotte and all that stuff is happening. That's in San Fran.
Okay.
So it was Martin / Dolores that told Bernard that where William was, that he was in a facility, but how did he know? If he knew where William was, then why did they need to use the tracker later on to find out?
See exactly where it was, maybe. Because, you're not going to go through a whole facility checking room by room. William, you in here? No. William, in here? No. William, this guy's eating his own poop.
Well, that's what Bernard and Stubbs would have had to do, because they didn't have a tracker. They didn't have access to that tracker. So there's another theory out there.
Right before he blew him up.
Yeah. So there's another theory. There's another theory out there that Sirach told Hale, I think it was like in episode 2 or 3, that she was not his only mole.
Huh.
So the theory is that Stubbs is one of the moles. But my only issue with that is that he's a host. So
yeah,
how
would have to know that Stubbs is a host, and Stubbs' directive is to protect Bernard.
He wouldn't have to know that he's a host, but I don't know. I find it complicated. It's overly complicated that he's a host, and that he would be programmed to be the head of security and still turn on Delos and be sending out information and stuff. Because they're saying that the reason that Stubbs was able to get them into the facility was because he knew the facility. And that's how they got there and knew where everything was, because Stubbs knew.
Huh.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know if it holds water, but it's interesting, and I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we shall.
Mm-hmm. So next on Westworld, the next episode is by the way, Decoherence is it's related to quantum decoherence. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it's basically the opposite of coherence. It's like where are you making faces in the camera? Can you see yourself?
Yes.
I can. It's just like from here down.
Oh.
So in quantum mechanics, I'm no quantum theorist or or scientist by any means, but the idea is basically if a quantum ion is isolated, that it remains coherent, but if it is separated, then it becomes decoherent, and it kind of falls apart, and so
destabilizes.
Yeah, it destabilizes.
Yeah.
And so that was exemplified in Charlotte kind of falling away from Dolores, as well as William kind of converging and killing his other selves and converging into one stronger self, I guess. As where Dolores is multiplying herself and becoming weaker, William is pulling together and becoming stronger.
Minimizing and becoming stronger, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've yet to see if he's actually sane, but it seemed to work that he had spent enough time in there to resolve all his issues. Oh, that was the other thing. So I'm still not convinced that William is not a host. Case in point, man, I wish I'd have thrown this image up on the screen, but I forgot. I took a screenshot of him when he's sitting talking to the therapist, right? I don't know if you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look really close at his fingers, and you might have to zoom in or whatever, but I mean, so at the ends of his nubs, it's metal sticking out of the flesh.
What?
Yeah. And they drew a lot of attention to that. And he took his glove off and he was like scratching his ear, and then he put his hand down like right in front of the camera. And I don't know if that's a clue or because he was wearing that glove that had like two stiff fingers in it to look, like he had all his fingers. But I mean, it's obviously, I don't know if you zoom in and see that there's like shiny tips on the end of his knuckles where his fingers would be. And I don't know if that is, I mean, if you look at the hosts, like they've got metal fingers, like the piano player, right? In the opening.
Yeah.
So I'm not totally convinced that he's not a host at this point. I mean, why? I mean, unless there's some form of magnetic attachment that is in the glove, and that's how the fingers stay put. But I don't know why that would be necessary, because if the fingers are stuffed, they would just stay where they're at, right?
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Bum, bum, bum.
I'm on board.
So, yeah. So go back and watch that. It's in the very beginning of the episode, you guys. Yeah. Next on Westworld. Next episode title is Past Pawn, and the description is: a real friend is one who walks in when the rest of the world walks out. But a past pawn is a chess reference, right? You ever play chess?
Yes.
I'm sure you have. You seem like somebody who plays chess.
I was president of a chess club when I was in high school.
Oh, so you probably know what a past pawn is, huh? Or maybe not the reference, but I'm sure you know. Do you? Oh,
no.
I didn't know the term. But I looked it up, and it's basically when you take a pawn and you move it to the other side of the board, and you're able to trade that pawn in for another piece, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah. And so you trade it, and you get your queen or you back and all that kind of stuff. You have two queens or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's what a passed pawn is. It's just like in checkers when you make it to the other side of the board and king me, It's the chess version of that. So, and in the teaser, there were a whole lot of images of Caleb. So, I'm willing to bet that Caleb is the pawn that is the most important that we haven't realized yet. because at this point he has been Dolores' pawn and just kind of done what she said and what she wanted and all that kind of stuff. Almost seemed programmed to. And there's all that
Even
information.
And then like at the end of that, like it had Dolores talking, said, "You always thought you were a follower," but and then like he's looking at this big old giant. Yeah, okay. Caleb was a drug kingpin.
So yeah, in the teasers, we see him with that eye mask on again, and there's several scenes where he is in his military uniform, and he is firing on somebody in a bandana, like a mask type situation, out in a like out in front of a building, and it almost looks like a bank robbery, like he's SWAT or something, except that he is in full military, like he's in military gear, like he's sniping this person, and they are obviously on American soil. Like I think somebody pointed out that the car that's in the shot or whatever has like Wyoming plates or something like that. So and there's American flags in the shot as well. So there's some kind of celebration going on or a parade or something like that. What do you got?
Did he kill a president?
Oh, that would be interesting. I don't know, because the president wouldn't be in a mask and stuff. But that would be interesting that maybe Sirach used him to assassinate a world leader and then buried him because he doesn't want anybody to know. Or he doesn't want him to remember. I don't know why he wouldn't just kill him, but Sirach doesn't have a problem with that.
He would be Sirach's.
There's a theory out there that he is Sirach's brother, but I don't think that lines up. I don't think the age is correct. Is right for that.
It's not.
Because that was obviously Sirach's older brother.
Yeah, and we've seen what he looks like as an older adult.
Yeah,
and he's also probably dead. Yeah.
There's that. Yeah. But so Caleb seems like he's the outlier, and not so much Dolores. Like Dolores is basically trying to, like he's the what's it called, the like in it's I forget, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg call it. It's like a MacGuffin. It's like he's the thing, the secret thing that they have to get to the place to win the show or whatever, to win the movie.
Secret thing that we have to get to the place.
Yeah, and J.J. Abrams is very fond of MacGuffins as well, and he is a producer on the show. So it seems like Caleb is the MacGuffin. Like he's the secret thing that Dolores is carrying or has acquired and is carrying through to use against the big bad, and it's revealed that he is the missing piece and the ultimate weapon type thing. Does that make sense?
Yes, he is the Avatar.
Yeah, especially when especially when Liam Jr. looked at him and was like kind of freaked out and is like, "You're the worst ones. You're one of the worst ones," or whatever. And I want to say there's another scene. That's what it was. When they were all going outside and everything had kind of hit the fan last episode, and they're walking up, and the car pulls up and the assassins get out and they start shooting, and Dolores steps in front of him. Why were they trying to shoot him and not Dolores?
Rehoboam said something, and Sirach tried to fix it. Instead of like trying to kill him, he just tried to fix him so that it wouldn't happen. But because Dolores got interjected, his fate's still gonna be what it originally was. I don't think what he sees there is his original fate. I think he had one of them like super altering ones, like you will kill Sirach enter first name, or is that his last, or is that his first name? You'll kill
I think,
Serac and bring about the extinction of humanity,
yeah, I
or
don't know.
he'll be some type of terrorist. I don't know. I mean, it's
It
obviously
seems,
something that's
it
like
seems that
so
he was
big.
some sort of terrorist, like some kind of homegrown terrorist or something like that. Because even like there's the scenes of him wearing the mask with the eyeballs on it, and his friend is with him and everything. And but that's, I mean, we don't know if that's a real memory or if that's an edited memory at this point, because Liam was saying, you don't even know who you are. You did it. You killed your friend. So and then Caleb started having those recalls, those moments where he remembered being in the chair, and so it seems like all that's gonna come unraveled next episode, and we're gonna see what's going on. And there is an image of what looks like a kinetic bomb type situation coming from a satellite. So kinetic bomb is basically it's not an actual explosive, but because it's traveling so fast from space, when it hits the ground, it explodes. Exactly.
Yep.
And right now they're just theory, but in the future that far, it's very possible that they're a real thing. So I mean, maybe that's what hit Paris, or it almost seems, or I don't know if it's in the past or if it's in the future. It's happening right now, but there is a scene where Caleb he's got short hair, and he is there's like a city background, and he's walking across the frame, and in the last couple seconds of the frame, there's something that drops out of the sky right behind him, and it looks like it could be that thing, and that's like he is caught in that explosion or something to that effect.
Well, or just could be them rockets going up and down. Just be always in the background.
That could be, yeah. That's very possible too. That's a good observation. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So we'll definitely find out. We'll definitely see that Caleb's climax is about to come, and I feel like that's all that's about.
I was gonna let it go, man. I was gonna let it go. Hey, mature audiences.
And I feel like it's going to be series altering.
Yeah, because I mean, there's only 2 episodes. Like, this thing has to wrap up, and they've mentioned that they could go further with more seasons, but I mean, this almost feels like it's wrapping up the series. Like things are wrapping up.
Yeah, I feel like, and it's such a good story. Like, it's one of those things that you don't want to get ruined by longevity, because as we've seen, things can easily get ruined by it staying on forever. Star Wars.
Keep trying. They just keep trying to squeeze more blood out of a turnip.
So,
or stone,
I mean, if they feel
where you're from.
Yeah. If they feel like the story's at an end, then I will let it rest.
Yeah. I mean, HBO in the past was known for being too involved and kind of messing things up, but here lately they have kind of kept their hands off of things, to their detriment with Game of Thrones, because they wanted to go 10 full seasons with it, and I mean, it's not like they didn't have enough content to do that, but I mean, of course, D&D weren't on board for that. They wanted their Star Wars.
Let me write season 8, 9, and 10. I'll tell you how it's going to end, not how you want it to. Someone's going to cry.
Yeah. One day we'll be writing our own stuff.
In all honesty, season 8 would have still ended with the end of the Night King, and season 9 basically, season 10 would have been like Civil War amongst the Starks for everything. So, but that was just that. Oh,
all right. So, do you have any more thoughts on Westworld?
Nope.
And what's going on with Caleb, Dolores, Maeve, Charlotte? Like, what is gonna happen with Charlotte in that body? Is she gonna go back to Dolores and get repaired, or is she just gonna be like Darkman and wrap herself up and go at it just like that?
Darkman.
That was a way back reference.
That was a super way back reference.
Yeah.
I want her to be walking down the street and one person say, "Damn, you got burnt up." That's all. I know it's super cheesy, but I would get a laugh. Westworld doesn't make me laugh enough.
Yeah, except for that axe chasing situation. Apparently, that happened because the actor that plays Stubbs had injured his arm, and they had to rewrite that scene because he couldn't do an action sequence or fighting scene.
That's funny.
So they just had him chase him with an axe. just kind of run and threaten them, and it'll be all right.
Scream,
it'll be fine.
And here's an axe.
Like he didn't even like disarm them before. Yeah, I mean they're running from him with guns in their hands. It's so weird. Like if that doesn't make you think that this entire season is a simulation, I don't know what will.
He rolled a nat 20 on his intimidation.
Rehoboam was like, "Damn."
Damn. Outliers.
He's the DM.
All right. Okay. I think
all right.
I got it. I'm good.
All right, cool. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks for joining us. We hope that you guys will join us live every Monday at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Every time there's a new episode, rather. So we've only got 2 more episodes this season. Please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon.
Ding.
Thank you. So that you know when we drop a new video. There's a little bit of a lag there, probably. Check out the website at www.broken.pictures.com. And this is Dylan.
I'm Quinn.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.